So Shirley, we're over here in the Toronto University Library. It's March 18th, and I know that's your English name. What's your real name in China?
Zhong.
Okay, well, that's pretty hard for me to pronounce. But let me ask you. You told me, I know you have experiences in both going to school in the Chinese system as well as the Canadian system. What would you say the greatest differences are?
There are a lot of differences, but I think aside from the amount of work, which is of course different, but I expect work here like it's much less before university, so that didn't shock me. But I think the most different thing is I think students' learning attitude and the general atmosphere. Because like in China, everyone, doesn't matter if they really like study or not, like they really want to learn because they think it's for their own benefit, but I don't think here people care that much.
Okay, so why such a difference in the cultures? Why do they care so much and the kids here don't seem to care, generally in North America?
Yeah, I think there is cultural reasons, but I think the most important reason is the social reasons. Because in China, I think there are a lot of people, and it's really the competitive environment is the environment is really competitive in general, and you have to get into a good university to secure a good job. Whereas here, even if you don't study, you just get a regular labor job, you can still live a decent life. But in China, if you don't go to those good universities and get a high-paid job, then you end up in a factory making the TV set you guys are watching, and they get paid really minimum, and it's really miserable life for them.
So is there a lot of pressure, was there a lot of pressure in your situation from your parents? Did they put a lot of pressure on you to perform well, and they pushed you?
My parents did not, but I know a lot of my friends' parents do. My parents, they really want me, because they know I know what I want. They know I will do good, without them telling me to, because I'm really motivated to do so. So they don't really tell me what to do. But I think a lot of my friends' parents really they really ask their kids to work hard. They even said oh, you can't watch television unless you finish your homework.
So give me the differences. The difference in Canada, about how much homework did you have to do a day in a Canadian high school?
I think 1 to 2 hours.
1 to 2 hours, and you probably did a lot more than most, right?
Yeah, because when I first came here, my English was really bad. I had to go to ESL, ESL class,
right.
And when I was in China, we also have English class, but we didn't rate that much. Even if on exam, the most we have to rate is one regular page. But when I came here, even in ESL class, we have rated 2 novels, it's 200 pages or something. For other people, people from kids from India, I think they said their school teaching English, so they have no problem.
So
but for me, it's
not only were you trying to do all the stuff that you had to do as a high school student in a Canadian high school, but you were also trying to learn English at the same time, which makes it pretty difficult since most of your classes are in English, correct?
I know. Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, was 1 to 2 hours a day, was that typical, or do you think most of the Canadian high school kids were doing 1 to 2 hours a day?
I don't think they even do anything, because that's why I hate doing group work in high school here, because those kids don't care and they know I care, so they will I think they're trying to take advantage of me, because they think I would cover their part, because I don't want to get 0, but they don't care if they get 0. So I hate doing group work because I have to cover their parts, and sometimes if my part is dependent on their part, for example, the presentation's on Monday, and I call them, I call the girl on Saturday night, oh, is your part done? And she's like, oh my God, are you kidding? Why do you start so early? I don't start until Sunday night or something. But then if I call them on Sunday night, they're like, oh, I have this and that. I'll call you back tomorrow morning. What do I do? So I don't know.
Okay, and so in China, how much homework did you do per day? Typically when you were in the Chinese high school?
I just finished middle school in China,
okay.
And I think it's 3 to 5 hours.
per night.
It varies, yeah.
And middle school is actually, I believe it's grade 7, 8, and 9?
7, yes.
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 And you did on average 3 to 5 hours a night of homework.
Yeah.
Plus, you had to do a very long day in school too.
Yeah, yeah.
What time did you start school in China in middle school?
We start at 7:30 is we do those morning exercise
Sure.
running from 7:30 to 8 and we start class at 8.
And you normally ended school at what time?
We finish morning at 12 and start at 2:30 till 6.
And then you'd go home and eat and then prepare for another 3 to 5 hours of studying.
Yeah, I do work in lunch break too, because we have 2.5 hour lunch, so I do work there too. But a lot of kids they sleep in between, so they have
Sure,
to.
they need to rest. And then what about Saturdays? Did you go to any of those Saturday prep schools in China?
Not in middle school, but in elementary school, yes. Because in middle school, the academic work is already a lot. Even if you go to those schools, it's mainly you go to those classes that help your academic performance.
Sure.
You go to English class or whatever. But in elementary school, we do a lot of interest-based. You go to dancing class, music, piano
Right.
class, whatever.
Okay.